Hey everybody, welcome back to Snapper's Antique Firearms. I am Snapper. Today we're going to discuss how am I going to be shooting my Colt Thunder. And you would think that would be a fairly easy question to ask, but I'm not going to be shooting 41 Colt out of it. The Thunder is in 41 Colt. The Lightning's 38, and then there was a Rainmaker 32. So what I'm doing, I'm going to be taking advantage of a system that's been used for a very, very, very long time. I have the abilities to reload 38 Special or regular 38 Colt. Now I want to use my 38 Special stuff because my 51 Navy at the very top here is in 38 Special. Now you might say, Snapper, why didn't you just buy a Lightning in 38 instead of the Thunder in 41? Well, it's a little complicated. It really came down to the guns that were available when I was buying and the value of the guns that was available while I was buying. Most of the Lightnings were not in very good shape for the price I wanted to spend, but I could find a bunch of Thunders that were. That's kind of why I'm going this route. So when these guns were first converted from percussion to conversion, like this one, converted to take cartridges, the very first bullets were hill-based bullets. So what does hill-based bullets have to do with 41 Colt? Just stick with me and I'll explain the sizing and why it matters. I promise it'll make sense. Kind of like the only modern day hill-based bullet that I really know of that's still in use is the 22. There might be more, but that's the common, right? So a hill-based bullet is when the casing itself and the ball, or the conical, excuse me, can slide right into the top but can't push any forward. There's a little heel that it sets in. So the brass diameter and the bullet diameter are roughly the same. And the very earliest guns, because they just drilled straight through, there was no step, no nothing, this is the way they started. This is kind of the first iterations of cartridge guns. They would just sit on top of it, and if you see, there's a little shelf here. What made heel-based bullets kind of lose favor, one, it's kind of harder to load the bullet and crimp it down. It's kind of a pain in the butt. And the biggest one is, if you notice, there's a ring here. Okay, if you can see, there is a ring right here. And that ring is lubricant. And it was designed so, a normal hill-based bullet, it's outside lubricated. So this would actually eventually either come off or be sticky and kind of stick to stuff. And it was much easier to just sink the bullet down into the cartridge. Now, these are two obvious, very different sizes, but you would sit it much deeper and then crimp it around the outside like a normal bullet is today. So your lubricating rings are in the inside of the brass. Thus, they made the conicals smaller when they went to conventional style. Okay, so how am I going to be shooting 38 Special out of a 41 Colt? 41 Colt sizes is 386 thousandths of an inch. 38 Special is your common .357, 357 thousandths of an inch. So there's quite a bit of room there. So if you just fired it without anything special, you won't touch the land or the grooves. It's going to be very inaccurate. And it probably wouldn't be too safe either. So what I'm going to do is take advantage of what people do today. So as we said, the 51 Navy conversions would have had a hill-based bullet. And today, if you couldn't get a hill-based bullet or reload it yourself, how do you shoot an original 51 Navy with a much larger bore when you can't get that ammunition anymore? This gun itself actually had a barrel liner put in, so it could shoot .357, but most of them don't. What they did is they took advantage of, people took advantage of the mini ball design, or the Minié ball. It's got a this one's fired. I don't have any non-fired ones, but it's got a hollow base to the bullet of it. It's a big cavity in there. So when it fires, there's a pressure buildup. And that pressure buildup causes the skirts to expand into the rifling. And it's a fairly simple concept, and it works very well. That alone made warfare and weapons accuracy change overnight, because a normal rifle back, Civil War era, To load a rifle, you'd have to load a patch with the ball on it, and you would cram it down. It's very tight, very, very tight, and you can't load as fast as a normal military-style musket, smoothbore musket. So what they would do is when this was made, it's made small enough that it would slide all the way down the bore easily, and when it's fired, it would expand into the rifling, making it possible now to load a rifle just as fast as a smoothbore musket. It's that simple. So, why am I talking about the mini ball? Because the mini ball is the key to make all of this work. I have this in 41 Colt. I can't reload for 41 Colt. I can go out and buy all the stuff to do it, but I kind of prefer to shoot, 38 special through it. So what I'm going to be doing is the cylinder in it right now is actually not the Thunder cylinder. The Thunder cylinder is right here. The cylinder that's inside it is for a Lightning. So it is 38 caliber, and it's pretty dirty in there too, guys. But that piece of brass is kind of messed up. But it's 38 caliber. It fits in there. It's just got a kink in it. But what I'm going to be doing is loading the 38 special, and these are probably the bullets I'm going to be using. I got a cast as well to cast some. I couldn't find any that had hollow base themselves, so what I'm going to end up doing, I ordered a ball mill, and inside of my a round end mill, not like a ball mill that mixes. So for my lathe, I could stick this in my lathe, and in the drill chuck, I can actually come in with an end mill that's rounded. You could probably do this with a drill bit, but having some hard corners might cause fatigue in weak areas. So you'd want it to be as smooth and as round as possible. And I'll just determine how much skirt I need versus depth. Probably go fairly deep to make sure that it does expand. And once that's drilled out, I can load this just like 38 special normally, And once it looks like 38 special, but once you shoot it, it'll engage the rifling in the Thunder. And the upside about this ammunition is now that it'll work in this 41 Colt, it'll also still work in its regular 38 special roll. So I could load all my 38 special guns with all the same ammo. So I'm fairly confident that this will work. I have shot a normal converted 51 Navy with the original bore at 375 with one of these bullets before in 38, and that expands to about 18 thousandths of an inch. It has to expand for the rifling. And this is a little bit more than that. It's going to be 29 thousandths of an inch expansion. But I'm fairly certain that that won't be too much or too crazy. I will give it a shot, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll just try another route. Well, that should do it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't considered subscribing, please do so. It really helps us out. And if God willing, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.